Breaking Mzansi Insider reports. The Constitutional Court of South Africa has confirmed that it is in the advanced stages of finalising its judgment in the highly controversial Phala Phala matter. This follows a formal inquiry by economic freedom fighters, EFF, leader Julius Malema, who had written to Chief Justice Raymond Zondo expressing concern over delays in delivering the ruling. The court's response signals that a decision is imminent, with the judgment expected within the next month. At the heart of the Phala Phala saga are allegations linked to President Cyril Ramaphosa, involving the theft of foreign currency from his private farm in Limpopo and questions about how the incident was handled. The case has raised serious legal and ethical concerns, including whether proper procedures were followed, whether there was any abuse of state resources, and whether the president may have breached constitutional obligations. The Constitutional Court's pending judgment is not just about the facts of the case, but also about legal principles that could have far-reaching implications. It is expected to clarify issues around accountability, executive conduct, and the limits of presidential power. The ruling could either reinforce institutional trust or deepen political divisions, depending on its outcome. If the court rules against President Ramaphosa, the consequences could be significant. It may open the door to further legal challenges, potential parliamentary action, or even calls for resignation. On the other hand, a ruling in his favor could strengthen his political standing, especially ahead of future electoral contests, while dealing a blow to opposition parties that have pushed the issue aggressively. As the Constitutional Court prepares to deliver its long-awaited judgment, attention is now shifting to what could follow immediately after the ruling is handed down. Legal experts suggest that the decision will likely bring clarity on whether previous investigative processes, such as those conducted by the Public Protector and Parliament, were adequate, or if further action is required. This alone could reopen political debates that many believed had cooled off. For Julius Malema and the EFF, the court's response already represents a partial victory, as it confirms that pressure on the judiciary can yield transparency on delayed matters. However, the real test will come with the substance of the judgment itself. Should the ruling lean in favor of deeper accountability, opposition parties are expected to intensify their demands for consequences, potentially reigniting mass political mobilization. Within the African National Congress, ANC, the outcome could also trigger internal reactions. While President Ramaphosa has maintained his innocence throughout the saga, a negative ruling may embolden factions within the party who have previously questioned his leadership. Conversely, a favorable judgment could consolidate his position and weaken internal opposition, especially as the party navigates its broader political challenges. There is also the broader institutional impact to consider. The Constitutional Court's handling of the matter, especially after concerns about delays, places its credibility under scrutiny. Delivering a well-reasoned and timely judgment will be critical in maintaining public confidence in the judiciary as an independent and effective arm of democracy. As the countdown to the Constitutional Court's ruling continues, public anticipation is reaching a peak. South Africans from all walks of life are closely watching, not just for the legal outcome, but for what it represents in a broader sense. The Phala Phala saga has evolved beyond a single case. It has become a symbol of the ongoing struggle between power, accountability, and the rule of law. Civil society organizations and political analysts have emphasized that this judgment could set a precedent for how future allegations involving high-ranking officials are handled. If the court demonstrates firmness and independence, it could strengthen democratic institutions and send a clear message that no one is above the law. However, if the ruling is seen as ambiguous or lenient, it risks deepening public skepticism toward governance and justice systems. On the ground, ordinary citizens are also weighing in, with many expressing frustration over corruption allegations that seem to linger without resolution. For them, the importance of this judgment lies in restoring faith in leadership and ensuring that transparency is not just promised but enforced. The outcome could either rebuild trust or widen the gap between the public and those in power. Internationally, The case has also drawn attention, as South Africa is often viewed as a benchmark for constitutional democracy on the African continent. The way this matter is concluded could influence investor confidence, diplomatic relations, and the country's global image, especially regarding governance and anti-corruption efforts. In the end, the Phala Phala judgment is more than a legal decision, it is a defining moment for South Africa's democracy. Whether it closes this chapter or opens new ones, its impact will be felt far beyond the courtroom, shaping political discourse and public perception for years to come.